This is episode 51 of Nobody Special.
On this episode, we answer a letter from a listener.
And we also talk about the Gillette ad in biblical manhood.
Strap in, everyone.
The Gospel Outpost presents Nobody Special. Hey everyone, welcome to Nobody Special, the show where two nobodies talk about the somebody who matters. I am Caleb, one of your hosts of Nobody Special.
And I'm Danny, the but-for of Nobody Special.
Yes, not buffoon.
No, the but-for.
The but-for.
Mm-hmm.
I read that as buffoon.
No.
Earlier.
No, I'm the but-for.
What is a but-for?
For pooping, silly! Yes!
Okay, that was
we are two generations of people. I sat on this joke for an hour.
Dumb.
For hours, I sat on this joke. We are...
I can't believe I actually
Shut up, I have a thing to say.
Say it.
We are
We are
two generations of people looking to find... Like, I can't. This is the best day of my life. Oh, we are two generations of people trying to find God in pop culture, politics, and everything in between, all while not taking any of it too seriously. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. This has been a fun few weeks. There are plenty of things that, to be honest, I'm just super not interested in talking about. So
yep.
I want to go over them very quickly, that I'm not interested in talking about them. Can we do this?
Okay.
Caleb, did you see the Golden Globes 2 weeks ago?
Yes, I did.
Did you care, though?
No.
Me neither. All right, moving on. Golden Globes covered. Caleb, the government's been shut down for now 20-some-odd days. Okay.
Yep.
Nailed it.
All right, moving on.
All right, moving on. Yeah, so how's your week been?
My week has been fine and dandy.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working, and I've been doing work. That's about it.
This is why every week we talk about, do we open up talking about personal stories about our lives? And
I can.
we try, but this is what we do.
Yeah.
We're boring.
Yeah.
We're
You know
insanely boring.
Let's start out with a question from one of our listeners.
Oh, these are great. I always enjoy these. They're always kind of a good opportunity to, like, to be honest, I've had a rough week. It's been a long week. I've gotten a lot of criticism from a lot of different places in the office, and it's just been a little bit crazier. And
Wow.
I'm to be honest, I'm a little stressed out. So I'm
You wanna see what the question is?
I'm glad we have these questions to cheer me up.
Yeah. This one is from Classic Joni.
Classic Joni.
You know who you are, Joni. All right. Are you ready?
Oh, absolutely.
This is a hello type of question.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Why does Danny look like a man when he sounds like a boy, but he looks like a full-grown triceratops? How? Danny? Danny, where are you? Danny?
I don't want to do this anymore, man. I don't want to do it. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means. A full-grown triceratops. What does that mean? What does that mean? No, I'm gone.
So we're back.
Thank you for your letter, Joni.
Man, Joni.
All right,
Just gonna move right
okay,
on.
I actually saw that. I don't really know what that question means. I
think it was a compliment.
I think I look like a triceratops. I don't know what, I
How
honestly
does
just
that
don't know what to
even
do with that.
translate to human face format?
I was actually trying to figure that out all week. It's like, I know I had, all right, please don't go back and do this because I'm very self-conscious about this kind of stuff. But 3 days before, I got a zit. 2 of them, and it wouldn't go away, and I almost got concealer, but then I was like, that's a road I'm not quite prepared to start walking down yet.
Yeah.
I'm putting on a makeup for the podcast that goes on a YouTube that nobody watches, you know. I do, actually.
I wear my acne just full on out every day, all right?
I know, but I'm 30.
Be proud of your
Wait, how old am I?
youngness. Does that mean you're young, or does that mean you're just...
No, wait, hold on. How old
filthy?
am I actually? Wait a minute. I actually forgot how old I am. No.
49.
49. No, I'm 34. I almost said 35. I am 34. I was born in 1984. Born in November. And, yeah, but I still enjoy this kind of stuff. I still go to memes. I still do all that just because...
Wait, what did you just say?
I go to memes.
I think he's a fake. No true memer would say that. I'm not a memer, but
I
go
remember
to memes.
I watch. I look at memes.
Are you gonna go to the Home Depot too?
No, because I'm always at a place at the Home Depot. I don't have a lot of construction-based knowledge. I have a lot of Marvel-based knowledge and a lot of Bible-based knowledge. So
I like how you said Marvel first. That was pretty good.
If I go in there, if I go into Home Depot, the only thing I could go up to him and ask, like, do you think this is the kind of wood that Moses made? No, oh, shoot. I'm not going to live this down. Well, it's a good thing I got my butt for joke in the beginning, because I meant to say Noah just there, and I was going to say, do you think this is the same wood that Noah built the ark with? And they'd be like, it could be. And I was like, no, you're wrong. It's acacia. It might be. I'm really not sure. Yeah. But
historically, the Bible says in Greek text that the wood is made out of blah, blah, blah.
Okay,
I'm a theologian. That's important. If you don't know what type of wood the ark is made out of, then you're not saved.
Okay. All right. Here's why I'm cringing, because the Old Testament was written in Hebrew. The Old Testament was written in Hebrew, and the Greek of the Old Testament is pointless. Anyway, it's not pointless. It actually helps to understand the Greek. You opened this book of worms, this can of worms. I am misremembering and speaking a lot of things. Anyway, though.
That kind of sounds like something an old person would do.
Come on, man. I still know how to...
Do you know how long...
Rocket. Fortnite. What? Oh, Jake Paul. Can we put him in the title on an episode for YouTube, just so we can have
swoop that low.
5,000 additional views that all hate us?
Yeah.
Oh, why do you hate Jake Paul? Because he looks like he's balding at the age of 24, and he encourages kids to gamble and do risky things. Anyway.
Dang.
I have Jake Paul theories. Anyway, we're way off topic, so thank you, Classic Joni, for that comment.
Delightful question.
I don't think we answered it, but
Who cares?
I don't think we're going to either. So, no, I'm excited about the show because it's going to be it's a good show. Caleb and I are just going to talk about some current events and probably I'm interested in not getting into a lot of arguments on a lot of things. So, Caleb, what's our first topic?
Our first topic is the Gillette Smooth Shaver. They just recently made a commercial. Danny already knows about this, but
are we talking about the Gillette ad?
Yes.
Why are we talking about the Gillette ad?
Because it's a
Gillette ad. I don't want to talk about the Gillette ad.
Everyone's.
I don't want to talk about the Gillette ad.
Well, that's too bad. Oh, man.
Okay.
I actually forced Danny.
That's actually not a bad.
I was like, please, because we disagree on this.
Well, that's not.
And
that's not what you said at all.
Some birdies have said that we don't disagree enough. So here we are. All right, here we are. We've come to the point where we are going to disagree with each other.
And I disagree. I think we disagree plenty.
It's not a mic.
I know. I didn't want to drop
this
it.
Out,
yeah,
and then it would be really loud.
It would be bad. Anyway, all right. So tell us about the ad in case they've been under a rock or don't shave.
So
and also I need coffee.
Gillette released this ad, and it is about
shaving. Is it about shaving?
One could say
shaving off the dredges of society.
So. It's about it's basically addressing male behavior or your mic just doesn't.
I know. I touched my mic at the beginning for our audio listeners. Please keep going.
See how
ignore
perfect
me.
This is.
Ignore me. Keep going. I mean, don't ignore me, but you know what I mean.
So this is addressing, male behavior, specifically the type of behavior that leads to sexual harassment or anything of that type of, even if it's just, like checking a girl out. So it is out of, it's what it sounded like was they want to put a higher goal and higher standard for the way a man should act, which I personally, I love it. I mean, all right, I get it. It's kind of political, but it's the fact that it doesn't really apply. It's not a political agenda to, go tell males and men how they should act. I think that that's been a problem increasing over the years is, what does a real man look like? And that's kind of what the man stereotype is, I got to be this big tough person who looks at girls' butts and, makes comments on how hot they are. And, that's all we talk about. And, it's become, I think, me personally, something that is going on in the culture, in secular, and I think it even bleeds a little bit into Christian culture too, whether it should or not.
In what way?
I'm not saying that that's what the Bible condones. I'm saying that Christian.
No, it straight up doesn't condone that at all.
Yeah.
Like, to be 100% clear, the Bible does not condone that.
And that's why and that's what I'm saying is, no one's perfect, all right? But, it's crazy that...
Some of us are close.
Even the secular world is pressuring, us to put a higher standard for the way we should act.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's cool, because I think that's something that's needed. And it's definitely... I think that... Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was cool. I didn't think too much of it.
Right. Now, on the other end, and I'm going to be clear here. I'm going to give the other end. I don't 100% buy the other end. There are parts of the criticisms of this commercial that I just straight up don't agree with at all. But I think it's also important to understand where they're coming out of as a perspective. Other people did not have the same understanding of it as Caleb did and felt it was very politically motivated, condescending towards men, and painted a picture of too broad of a brushstroke of all men do this. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I can understand that as a perspective, because of a few things in there that, it's just a group of guys of all creeds, backgrounds, everything. They're all standing behind the identical grill, all just chanting, boys will be boys, boys will be boys, boys will be boys, boys will be boys. It doesn't paint a good picture of men. Now,
well,
go ahead.
That is true, but that wasn't the point. And in fact, later, which I thought was cool, but apparently some people, their earbuds just didn't catch this. But it says, word for word, some men have already stepped up to these standards, implying that some men don't, they don't act like that, that stereotypical secular cultured man. They said it. They literally said it. Some people are not like this. So they weren't right off the bat. They were not accusing universally all men. They said some men. Some men are bad. Some men are already stepped up to these standards.
All right. But I feel as if that little bit there was not enough.
Oh, they talked about it for
alleviate
the
pressure. No, they painted the picture of the ideal. Now, there are some aspects of that I do agree on and some that I don't. Even on a child development, I have a big background in child development, that kind of stuff. The kids playing and play fighting, I personally think that's fine. If they aren't intending to hurt each other, kids, they need to play. They need to do these things. They have to do that. Oh, yeah. And to try and get them to stop doing because, hey, we don't do violent things. Well, that's not entirely accurate. There is an aspect that guys, they need to be able to protect, to be strong, and not just be passive the whole time.
Right.
And that it was part of it that they're trying to take the male nature out of a man is how some people felt. Now, to be fair, there are parts of that in that commercial I 100% agree on, and parts of that I 100% disagree on. I am not going to come out and have anybody say, Danny's pro catcalling or any of that. I'm not. I hate it. I think it's disgusting. I think it's painful. I've talked to many people that have gone through that, that have done it, and it's a disgusting thing to do. And I do think there are pockets of cultural stereotypes of men that are dangerous to men and need to be called out by other men. With that said, part of this did feel very politically motivated a bit. And if they're trying to give a neutral argument, they had a few clips in there I would have taken out, including the Young Turks. I would have taken them out entirely. They are a very polarizing group.
Yeah,
they are aggressive, angry, and very, very far on the liberal side. And they've also been accused of trying to take the manhood out of men.
So this is, I mean, for me, I think the reason it's not, I mean, I would say it is politically motivated, but I think it's different. It's different because it is something, I would say, most people with good morals, and I think that liberals have good morals too. And that is, I think this is one thing that all of us agree on, conservative, liberal, whatever you want to call it, whatever side you're on. I would say that most people don't want men to treat women or men to just act like, that the I'm just going to call it the stereotypical man.
Chad,
yes.
Can we,
who you are.
Can we say not like a specific Chad, but
we're not talking about a specific Chad, but yeah.
But we all know what I just said there. I'm young and hip and down with it.
And so
it's hard to dab with the mic in front of your face.
Chad.
Oh yeah, we can't do that. I'm sorry. I'm hearing it now, and it's not great. The bro dude. Can we call it the bro dude?
The bro dude. Yeah.
Okay, bro dude.
That's fine. I mean, so everyone agrees, I think, that, and unless you are a bro dude, then you want to keep your ways.
Yeah. You don't think anything's wrong. Yeah.
But I mean, I would say most people agree that it's wrong. I would say Christians agree because it's not biblical whatsoever.
Right.
I would say, leftists agree because it does, it leads to bad things that I would say everyone agrees on. People, like whether it's, rape or sexual harassment, no one agrees that should be a thing. I've never met a person, unless you're just, mental. But I mean,
right.
That's what
right.
I'm saying is, but everyone agrees that men should be held to a higher standard, when it comes to that, because I think that it has become a problem, and like I said, even in Christian circles, not because that's what the Bible teaches. Once again, I'm just saying that's because nobody's perfect, and it needs to, and it's become, let's just say it's become the normal thing to do. Like,
see, I kind of disagree with that.
You disagree? Okay,
I do. I think part of the I think it's becoming clear that our country is splitting to two extremes, and I think a big portion of that is news and social media, because those two things have a tendency to hold a magnifying glass over the dregs of society because it sells money. It gets them income. Even the news, they're able to function based on ad sales. And if the only thing going on is, hey, all these fluffy and happy stories, people don't turn into the news, and so they have to put out these things, that push their own agenda and narrative, because everyone has an agenda and narrative, and they put out these stories that try and push that by putting a magnifying glass over the best of their stuff and the worst of other people's stuff. I have never tuned into a news story about a pastor that did his job every day and didn't do anything bad. I've tuned into hundreds of stories of pastor sexually abuses a child. Now, because of that, do I think that every pastor out there is doing that? No. I don't even think it's a good amount of them, but because that is the only thing being brought up, it's easier to think that that's a cultural norm. And I just don't think it is. I think it gets attention, but I don't think it's a cultural norm.
I mean, I'm not even saying, I don't watch the news, and I'm
good for you. It is
I don't
super
watch.
depressing.
I'm saying from my personal experience, I'm not going off of any magnifying glass from the media or news. I'm going off of what I've seen in people my age and what I've seen in secular circles. I would say that is very, very normal. Not everyone, obviously. Once again, most people, I would say, once again, whether liberal or conservative or Christian or atheist, I would say they generally hold themselves to a standard that is pretty good. But once again, I would say a majority of people would still lean to that, mainly because, once again, I mean, I'm going to say it again, no one's perfect.
Right.
And it's got to the point where I think people know that, and they know it's wrong. But it just became, to me, I saw it as like it became such a normal thing. And to the point where I thought it needed to be called out. I mean, that's...
So I think the other aspect of it, and I don't disagree. I mean, I cannot say any of these names. Hold on. I am filtering names right now for specific stories, but I have accused people of emotionally cheating on their girlfriend, of stop catcalling, stop anytime I talk about a girl, do not have the first question be, dude, is she hot? I don't care. I've chastised teens on doing that.
Good. You're basically the same as this Gillette commercial.
It was really awkward because, all right, so it was a beach trip. I think I can tell the story. Whatever. It was a beach trip, and there was a girl that among the student group had been known as very attractive, and this guy who was like kind of new to the church, but he was kind of a person that we were just glad he walked in the door and didn't burst into flames kind of thing. And it's a beach day. She walks by, and he does this.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I get it. The hormones, fine. Don't do that. That's pervy and weird. Pervy and weird. Are we allowed to say pervy and weird?
Yes.
I gotta check what we are and are not allowed to say. It's pervy and weird. Sure. Okay. I was a little shocked by that because he's standing right next to me. But then the thing he did was absolutely stunning. He goes, "Oh, dude, she's hot." I'm like, "Dude, her dad will kill you." Like, I know her dad. He packs and they won't find you. Like, he'll be on a show about the first 48 hours and being unable to prove a crime occurred. And it was just really inappropriate. And I told him so and all that. All that to say, there are other aspects of that commercial that I find to be a little bit dangerous. They took terms and they were slowly tweaking the definition of them to make them more inclusive. And this is another thing that I've watched occur that is dangerous. The term toxic masculinity can now be applied to things that specific groups just don't enjoy, even if it is a masculine type of trait. And that expanding definition is, I think it's dangerous from a cultural progressive standpoint. Yeah. It's the same thing that happened on the term rape. It's a horrifying crime.
Yeah,
it is absolutely terrible. And anybody that does that isn't a man, is barely a boy. And I have very strong opinions on the punishment for that crime that I'm not going to get into on this podcast, but it's a horrifying thing. To apply that to a person gets catcalled and they say, "I've been raped," is unfair and demeaning to every actual person that's been raped.
Yeah.
This kind of thing is going on to the term toxic masculinity, that it's being over-applied to things that are just part of being a man.
I mean, yeah, I would agree, but I would say I hate that term too. I mean,
yeah, I can't stand it as a term. That was probably my biggest complaint of that.
They used it. I mean, they used it like once in the commercial, and it was like a clip from a news thing, and you like just barely heard it. It was like in the background.
Yeah,
but listen,
that's how that happens.
I know, but listen, I'm saying, yeah, sure, I don't agree with that, but listen, like the overall message of this video, I think, is very good, and I think it is something that was needed. And just because, they're trying to expand, you can nitpick, you can like freaking overanalyze this video to the point where it's like insane.
See, all right, but in saying that, you're already discounting somebody else's perspective just because.
No, I mean,
they're just overanalyzing it.
I would say, okay, I mean, let's just say, I would say some people do overanalyze, and even if you do,
absolutely,
even if you do. I'm just going to say, I think overanalyzing, if you overanalyze, you will be missing out on the message of, what it's trying to be as a whole. And that is something I've experienced not only in, these types of situations, even in like church. I've seen people come to church and they overanalyze things to the point where they miss the whole point of the gospel. I mean, it's that perspective I don't think is healthy whatsoever.
Right.
And so, I mean, if we're going to get on that argument, but I'm saying, sure, it's still a perspective, but I think perspectives can be false no matter what. I mean, like they
can be, but you have to pay attention to them.
Sure,
on its own, if this had been not a Gillette commercial, which, by the way, they never talked about razors. I thought they sold razors. Part of the, overall, and it's not, I'm going to say this and it's not going to sound like it at all. I really don't give two pieces of poop about this commercial. It didn't bother me too much and all that, but I think, no, it truly, cool.
Says the person who has Facebook strands on this video.
Someone wanted to know the male perspective, and I was like, they're just trying to find understanding. I'm going to give them the male understanding. And in that thread, which I showed you, which I'm not going to post, I was positive to say these are the parts I agree, these are the parts I disagree. And I did say part of it overanalyzes it a bit and kind of devolves into an argument of, well, what about them, Okay, so they didn't talk about toxic femininity. Well, that's because that commercial wasn't intended to go to women. It's trying to go to men. And that's pretty clear. However, it's Gillette. I mean, and it was all men. Yeah. However, there are other aspects of that. I think on its own, it does have a good message. I do. On its own. The other aspect of it is that it doesn't occur in a bubble. It occurs in a context, in a specific cultural and political context. And they made choices there, understanding it would get people talking about it and helping out their business, because in this business, even bad press is still press. And they haven't been doing great because of things closer like Dollar Shave Club and Harry's, which I have and is amazing. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And if you want Harry's, this isn't a sponsored thing. I just think if we all signed up for it, I could get mine paid for the next year. Link in the description. No, sorry. No, that would be so messed up. But it occurred in a context, and that there is pushback, I think, is indicative that there are a fair amount of men that they think they're being attacked by the only cause that they are men. And to be fair, some of that's true.
Yeah, I mean, here's my thoughts on it. Is I would say if you actually paid attention to certain parts of the video, and once again, I think this is what this sounds like to me is people who are intentionally looking for something to be upset over. That being said, that is their perspective.
Disagree.
Once again, that is their perspective, but it literally, I mean, it says it in the video. It says it that there's some people who have already taken up these standards, and that's great. I mean, if you're one of those people who's actually genuinely, trying to watch yourself on that type of stuff,
right?
that's awesome, and they complimented that. They complimented
Right.
that. And if you're not, I mean, I think that you should feel attacked by this because they are trying to attack certain attributes.
All right, but the thing that you're doing is conflating two things as being equal. That all people that are offended by it are people that are convicted by it, and that frankly just isn't the case. I actually know people. Well, you kind of did. You implied it very heavily that people that are offended by it are probably because it's kind of striking a nerve, and that's unfair.
Isn't said though.
But that's the whole basis of this argument, though, is that the things they're implying in this commercial are very strong because of the cultural and political context it takes place in, and other messages that are being brought out, and other clear biases that are present in other choices they made throughout this whole thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm not even claiming I agree on all the criticism, but I agree with some of it.
Sure, yeah.
There is clear criticism of this commercial that can be damaging to men only because they're men.
I mean, I would personally disagree with that. Okay, let's just say this, just in case you haven't watched this, make sure you go watch this.
Or don't.
But
it's a garbage ad. Tells you nothing about the razors.
I mean, I think it is a good message, me personally. But I mean, they very clearly state.
Slip that in there.
Let me just say, they very clearly state
right.
that they're not talking to all men. They're talking to the specific people that mistreat, or they're talking to the bro people.
That they're getting is that although they're speaking these things, they're communicating something else.
What else are they communicating?
That a manhood at its core is toxic to culture.
No, I disagree. I disagree because when you watch the video, once again, yeah, they threw in the toxic masculinity. That is, I would say that's dumb, sure. But, like, I'm not going to subtract that from me getting the point of the video. But the things that they're implying are it's not okay. Like, they very clearly showed examples of, she's hot. And then the guy was like, no, dude, stop. I mean,
which, by the way, no one has ever sounded cool saying that. I just want to, like, bro, do you think... I can't... Everything...
It happens all the time. I mean, especially with people my age.
Everything
I will let you know that
everything
it
I
does
just
happen.
thought I cannot say on this podcast.
Yeah.
Literally, bro, no.
But listen,
I respect your intellect.
They very clearly show that it's not what they're talking about. They're talking about the people who are over... the bro people. I mean, and then they very clearly state, once again, I'll say it again, they show examples, and they say the line that men have already stepped up to this standard. Mm-hmm. There are people who do. Mm-hmm. And it's that right there breaks it not into universal, it breaks it into particular groups. Mm-hmm. All right? I mean, that's what it's saying. Is there's these people and there's these people. And if you actually watch and listen to the video, once again, I think that there are people who... I do think there are people... I'm not saying all people who are upset about this or like this, but I think that there are people that when they're offended, they're trying to look for something to be offended about. I mean, that's... Well,
sure, but that's going to happen no matter what. There are always someone to be offended.
There are going to be the people, the actual people who this applies to, which is, I want you to know that if you are that type of person, you're not some scum of the earth. And that's not what this video is trying to say. I don't think that was what it was saying either. I think it's saying that, step up to a higher standard. And it's, I mean, you're not a scum of the earth if you talk about women like that. There are women who are very pretty, but it's like there are certain standards that I think that we should hold ourselves to.
Absolutely. I'm not
just
arguing
making
those.
sure that if you're watching this and you are one of those type of people that know that you're still loved. Don't worry. We still love you.
Also, do better. I don't know. I mean, switch a little bit.
I mean, you're literally saying... That's what I'm saying is you're literally saying...
I know, but I'm not trying to sell razors. I'm not trying to sell razors or shave your face. I want my razors to not have political messages. I want my chicken sandwich to not have any political messages. Do you know the official stance of Chick-fil-A on homosexuality? We sell chicken. I just want my stuff to stop being so political. Just sell me a razor. If the razor works, sell me a razor. If the chicken's good, and the chicken is delicious, by
so
the
now
way.
now we're bringing up a completely different argument.
No, because that's the whole criticism of this thing. Is that's just
you just listed 10,000 other criticisms.
It is another case of cramming politics into a thing that have nothing to do with politics.
I mean,
that is the entire criticism of this thing.
Businesses,
there, no one is gonna. I'm screwing up my microphone. We're raging right now. We're not. I'm raging on my microphone.
So who do you think won this debate?
Where the mic stand? Hold on.
Yeah, seriously.
No.
He's the one. He's the true star.
Oh gosh, it's about to come off of the base. Hold on. No, all the criticism of this entire commercial. I'm gonna just hold it. I'm gonna really get into it.
All of the criticism
is based in that it's just politics finding its path into a razor commercial. Well, and I get it. It is inspiring. Guys, we have to do better than some of the stuff that's going on. We have to stop. But I've never had to come out and say we shouldn't sexually harass people because that feels like softballing the whole issue. Yeah, no one thinks we should sexually harass people. No one thinks that's okay. No one's taught to do that. No one's taught to do any of those things. It happens and it sucks. And
I don't know.
Who's taught to do that?
No, I'm not. That's not what it's saying. I mean, it is saying sexual harassment. Everyone knows that's wrong, but it's talking about.
I really screwed this mic up. I'm sorry, everyone.
It's talking about what, like the type of people who are. It's talking about the bro type of people. I mean, it's
right.
It's not talking about sexual harassment. Obviously, if you sexually harass people, it's not good. It's talking about holding yourself to a higher standard in order to separate yourself from that, in order to stay away from going down that path.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's awesome. And the thing about Gillette, putting this as an advertisement, I'm fine with that because of the reason that really businesses, whatever, if you want to
spend your money however you want,
things,
right?
You can do that. I mean, like.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, I know a Nordstrom's, they stopped carrying stuff that had, the name Trump, any place on it, and their sales plummeted in a week. Nike, on the other hand, did the Colin Kaepernick thing, and their sales went up. So, they can do that. That's fine, but they had to understand that there'd be some kind of a kickback on this.
And I don't think that they weren't expecting that.
Right.
Like you said, all publicity is good publicity.
Yeah. All press is... Yeah, even bad press is still press.
I mean, that's what I'm saying is...
Tell your friends why you hate nobody special.
If that's the criticism, then they should be criticizing every business that has ever existed.
Except Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A takes obvious Christian standards. And that's political.
Unapologetically.
I'm just going to say that. I mean, yeah. And they're doing this on like every business does it. Just get used to it. All right? And that's what I'm saying. And so that's not where all the criticism is coming from.
That's a fair amount of it. Is they feel it's a political attack against men, and that there have been proven cases of the more liberal agenda that has attacked men on the basis of there being men.
What videos?
Not videos, but cases, ideas, and that type of stuff.
I don't think this is one of them. And
I know, but all I'm saying is a thing that has to be understood is that a good amount of this criticism is coming out of a place that there are many guys that feel they are attacked because they are male.
Yeah, no, that definitely happens.
And that has to be taken into account.
But that's not happening in this video. That's my whole point. That is, I don't think this is happening in this video. To them, sure, I don't care.
And this had been their kind of, this is the kind of the final straw. I can think of a parallel, but it's pretty nerdy. Can I go there? Can I go there? People hate EA, the game developer. People hate it. And it wasn't until Star Wars Battlefront 2 that everybody came together to take them down because loot boxes are a terrible system and it's just there to steal money. Now, overall, did they hate that game? No, it's actually a pretty good game. But they decided to just take all their anger and aggression out on this particular game because it was the last straw for them. I think this is kind of the same case that because of the attacks that they are feeling, some of them are actually attacks, some of them are just perceived attacks, but either I mean,
that's the point where I don't care. I mean, if this is what makes you feel attacked, when
if
it's obviously not attacking you, I don't care about your opinion. That's just my personal opinion.
It could be though. That's part of it. Is that the ad campaign?
That may sound insensitive, but as a male too, which I say that I would say that sometimes in political terms, like there's a lot of pressure on males. Okay, whatever. But this video is obviously not doing that. And if that's what you feel, then I don't care.
All right, but you're saying obvious, and it isn't. And that's the thing, is that argument is very...
Once again, guys, this is my opinion.
Reductionist of other people's thoughts. Because, it's obvious. I can't believe they can't understand that because it just isn't. Now, from their end, it's obvious that it is. So how do we handle that? I mean, because there are clear cases that's happened. And I'm honest, that ad campaign could have been a bunch of guys that have on flannel shirts, eat steak, hunt deer, and are pro George W. Bush and all that. I mean, NASCAR, toting, gun, all that people. Or it could be the polar opposite of that. And to be fair, they could both produce basically kind of the same commercial. And that's part of it, is that there's this problem of perception and assigning a motive because we just don't know. And there's enough plausible deniability that it could be this or this. And that, I think, is particularly troublesome to a group of people that feels as if they are attacked by the very nature of their being. It sucks to be attacked because a person just is. Okay, and I'm coming at that on a perspective of being picked on for something that I just can't help, and it sucks.
Yeah, no, I would agree. But once again, I don't think that's what this video is saying. And I think this is my opinion. If you're truly just watching this video and not trying to pick something out of it, that, I'm offended by that, when I personally think it is very obvious that they are not attacking guys. Unless you are that type of person that they're talking about. That's just what I think. And it sounds terrible, but if you think otherwise, I don't care. Just because I don't care about the situation a whole lot in general.
But then conversation is over, and isn't this whole thing about growing by understanding?
Yeah, and
then try to understand the other perspective.
I did. That's what I.
No, you said I don't care.
No, that's what I think.
That's kind of the opposite of trying to understand.
No, that's what I'm saying is that's what I think their perspective, not everyone's perspective in that group is, but I'm saying that's what I think the majority is like, why are you offended by this when it's obviously, I think, supporting you? I mean, I just don't understand. That's where I've seen people like that, or people like that, or tend to be just over offended by things when they didn't actually listen. There's listening, and then there's listening. There's listening and there's not listening. I think that they listened to it. I didn't think that they heard it though.
See, I'd probably say it a bit different, that there are guys trying to communicate a thing and you're not hearing it by being kind of dismissive of their perspective, by saying, I don't care about it. Because, they're speaking very clear. They feel as if they are attacked by the essence of their being that they cannot change. That is a whole different conversation.
And that's... But what I'm saying is I don't think that they're... I agree that they're being attacked. I don't think they're being attacked by this video, and that's what I don't care about. I'm not saying that I don't care about their feelings about them feeling attacked. I'm saying
you did say you don't care if they feel that way.
No, I don't care if they feel
attacked. That was a Caleb
by this video.
Quote.
I'm saying about specifically this video, I don't care because I just think that you're wrong. That's just what I think. That is very...
Right, but this is an emotive problem, though. This isn't about
self-aware that is not a popular opinion. But it's just like, to be honest, I'm just being honest, I don't have a lot of care for that specifically. And therefore I don't. I mean, that sounds terrible, especially me being a Christian. I mean, I will say that, but
it sounds terrible.
I'm once again saying this specifically to this video. I do care about your feelings,
right?
And I do care about you feeling attacked about being a male because that is wrong. But this video is not trying to do that, and that's where ends don't meet. I mean, it's just that's just my personal feelings.
Overall, again, I really don't care about Gillette. I don't. And to be honest, in 2 weeks, this whole commercial is not going to matter. Do you know the color of the dress? It was blue or gold or black or whatever. This is going to be that. We don't care anymore. Like it's some. Trump will do something dumb, and then Nancy Pelosi will do something. Actually, no, they just did it today. I'm thinking about that. They literally just did that today, but we're over it. I'm over it. Anyway, at some point, though, the thing I'm trying to pay attention to, and I don't agree on all the criticism that this commercial's gotten. I do agree with some of it, to be honest, but not all of it. I think all of it is, trying to be offended. I think they are internally in pain and trying to find out the cause of that pain and express that according to how they're feeling. And I'm a big facts over feeling person, but the feelings are there as an indication, and they need to be heard. Yeah. Even if they're not true, the first thing all of us need to try and do is comfort. During times people need to be comforted, and then challenge, but in a grace and kind manner. And I think that's part of the thing, is that this is supposed to be an ad for erasers that instead chose to air out the dirty business of men. And I think enough guys got offended at this that all of us have to stop and pause and ask, okay, where's the hurt that is causing this? And now, because this is a Christian podcast, I mean, what does the Bible tell us about manhood? Because I want to be sure and be clear on this, and to not be accused of just whining about a razor for an hour. I don't care. I really I know it seems as if I care.
Don't care? That's kind of insensitive, Danny.
Huh? About a razor? No, I don't. Or about a company? No, I don't. I'm consistent. I care about the people, but as far as
I'm consistent. Goes, I was just telling you what I felt. All right,
and I appreciate that.
I'm not trying to be some fake person on this podcast. That's
no one is accusing you of that. Hey, what's going on right now?
What's going on right now?
Turn the microphones off!
Stop rolling. Come on.
Who are we talking to? It's just us in here.
There's
no one else.
We're not that important.
We're literally nobody special. All right, so biblical manhood, though, because I do think this is a thing getting lost in society, is that a biblical manhood is instead caving to the pressure of societal caricature depiction. So I think there is a strength that comes out of being a guy that I think is important. And strength can be twisted into aggression. Not aggression, because sometimes aggression's okay. There are cases that being aggressive is okay and necessary. If a person breaks into a home to kill a family, you get the cheerleaders out because it's time to be aggressive, be aggressive.
Yeah.
I always hated that cheer. Sorry, I was just thinking of every cheerleader that's ever done that, and I've always hated it. Anyway.
Is that an actual? I thought that
was... aggressive. Be aggressive. Be. No, I can't spell B.
That's from... Isn't that like a...
No, it's an actual cheer.
Ferrell. I thought that was like a Saturday Night Live skit.
Oh, no. It's a real cheer. No, because you're thinking of the Candy Stripers. My name is... I don't remember, but shoot.
No. Wait, I don't know. But yeah.
Well, no, the only verse I can remember I can't say.
Getting back on the topic.
So I do think that it's important that a man be strong enough to stand, but also, guys, it's okay to cry. I'm a crier. I like crying. Crying is great. Cry manly tears, but cry them hard.
That's one thing that I would say is like nowadays, especially like biblically, we need to be caring, and emotions are fun. I don't think that men are supposed to be these emotionless rocks, because that's impossible.
Right. God gave you emotions. Use them.
Yeah, I mean, they're not what we should be led by, but they are good indicators. Is someone said that to me one time, and I think that's true. What? Is that you?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I don't think it was you. But
I have a psych degree. Of course that was me.
But another thing...
Are you for real? Sorry, go ahead.
But another thing is, I think men are supposed to be, strong, though. And they're supposed to be, leaders. But I think the most important thing to note is all of that should be based off of your strength coming from God. And your all of these attributes coming from God.
Absolutely.
Because we can't just know that, like, a biblical man can't be developed by himself. A biblical man is developed by God in his relationship and spending time in the Word and spending time with God. Because the closer you get to God, the closer you're going to be to be a biblical man. I mean, like, that's where it comes from. It's not from, developing yourself and reading John Maxwell leadership books. It's about...
Okay, now we found a topic I feel strongly about. Nope. I think I think the other important thing, I mean, in a biblical perspective too, Bible talks about as iron sharpens iron, so
sharpens. How dare you?
Sharpens.
What is that NIV version?
What did I say? What did I say?
Iron sharpens.
No, that's not it. That's not
you
it,
said
people.
Iron shapes iron.
As iron sharp. I meant to say sharpen. Oh boy,
as pencil sharpener.
Danny needs more coffee. As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. Now I know that this is using a man in the sense of person, but guys, you need other guys to call you out on your garbage.
Yes.
And that's important to do. Now, granted, don't get the guy that gets the bullhorn and gets up and makes an announcement or does the anyone have any prayer requests? Yeah, I'd like to pray for Johnny. He's been catcalling a lot of women and he gotta stop. You're like, dude, come on. Don't do that. But get the guy that it's okay to be honest about the struggles, about the pains, the temptations, all of that, and then handle your stuff. I think that's a big part of it is that if a person... if they have the strength and the integrity to call you out on a thing, give that credence and pray through it. And if it's a thing that you disagree on, stop for a moment and consider, is there any truth to this statement? Is there any blind area that I have that I'm not positive about? And then if there is, get on your face and cry out to God and say, please forgive me. It is okay to do those things as guys. It's okay to be wrong, but it's not okay to stay there. If I know that I'm doing a bad thing, I need to repent, and that's just a big term that means I was going this way, and I turn and I go the opposite direction.
Yeah.
That's all that is that I'm turning away from that and to God.
Yeah.
But please go together. Call each other out on stuff. Be honest about struggles. Be honest about temptations. Be honest about all of this, to be not just caricatures that the either end of the political spectrum thinks that all of us are trying to be, but actually be a man of integrity and godly character.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
Did we leave anything? I feel like we left something out.
We probably left tons of stuff out. But
what did we leave out, everyone? Let us know in the comments. Jake Paul fidget spinner. Are we not doing that?
No.
Okay, sorry. Well, just let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
No, I think, I don't know. I will be glad when we're done talking about this ad.
Yeah, I mean, but thankfully for this podcast, us talking about this ad is over.
Good.
How much time
Yeah, no, we're bumping that segment for the 4th time this.
What? Wait, what is it at?
57.
Oh, dang. Did
Yeah.
we talk about that for that long?
We talked about razors for
So
a long time.
We've already mentioned
while we're
this, but
doing
we were
this-
going to talk about tattoos.
Right.
Once again.
And we don't have time to talk about it. So instead, I want to ask question. Caleb, how often do you, speaking of razors, how often do you shave?
I shave probably like once a week because I get a...
Yes, this is us. We have like 3 minutes to kill, and I'm going to kill it.
I shave, yeah, once a week because I get this little stash,
Oh,
and it looks
yep.
really ghetto.
Mm.
And like...
Well, that's not the right word for it.
What? It is. I mean, it looks like I'm like that creepy...
A wispy...
Yeah, that creepy guy.
That creepy high schooler who just figured out facial hair.
Right.
It's like, no, this is really coming in strong. You're like, you look like
No,
you have
just
kids in the
shave it,
basement.
yeah.
Like you.
Yeah.
Like, are we allowed to say
That's
that? I don't
ghetto,
know.
all
Is
right?
that the
That's
one?
ghetto.
That is not ghetto. That's something else entirely.
What is your definition of ghetto?
Not that.
Okay.
I'm not walking out on that minefield.
Apparently,
Get
the
out of here.
definition of ghetto is not that.
No. Correct. Yeah. No. All right. So I shave about once every 5 days because I grow hair like a. What was it? He said, "Why does Danny look like a man? He sounds like a boy, but looks like a full-grown triceratops." I grow hair like a full-grown triceratops, largely in that triceratopses are extinct. So I don't grow facial hair often. And if I do, it comes in blonde and patchy. I will admit, I had a soul patch at one point, and I thought it looked cool. And now I go back and find those pictures.
That.
No, shut up. Now I go back to those pictures, and to be honest, I was glad I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it out of my system.
So Danny was like that classic like 2000s youth pastor. I just want to let you guys know. And those classic 2000s like youth pastors, though, they had soul patches. So,
do you know how exhausting it is to be excited about every little thing? Every youth pastor out there, hey, we're so excited you're here. Hey, sometimes they're not. And I just want to go ahead and we're just going to tear this off too. Sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to see you. No, you've made my life really
you know
hard.
how
I had to call with your mom
exhausting-
for an hour and a half.
You know how exhausting it is to lie to your youth pastor and tell him his soul patch looks good?
I know that you don't because no one in there lied to me on that one. They're like, that looks terrible. I know. And I was like, yeah.
What are you talking about as you're like stroking it?
It was new to me. I could feel it all the time.
Gosh. I don't even like envision. And you probably had like those like sunglasses on your head too. It's like the spiked up hair.
I did have frosted tips. No, I didn't have frosted tips at one point. That was
You had
90s.
blonde hair. Well, I guess you
No,
had
it went blonder, my dude. Anyway, so, all right, biblical manhood. Did we cover everything? Hey, guys, it's time to be men.
Probably
it's
not.
time to... Oh, sorry. I remember the final thing I want to say. Can I have the final thing on this?
All right.
The commercial's terrible. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. We're not doing that. No. And I'm open and critical of men because I think it is time for men to start being men again. And I'm not going to hide behind a commercial or anything. I'm just going to come out and say it. Overall, the church has declined over the past 3 decades because of the decline of males in it. And there's a few different aspects of that. Which we can get into, but who really cares? It doesn't matter because today's today. It's 2019. So let's start 2019 moving ahead. It's time to be men. It's time to be strong, to be the people praising God, of the strongest, to be okay going into churches, to guide our home and our people that God has placed in our care towards a deeper understanding of the gospel and of Jesus Christ, and to have that kind of a strong impact on everybody that all of us come into contact on. To stop being scared of being judged for being a man, but be a man based in God, integrity, strength, and wisdom.
Boom. You got your final word. Are you happy?
This was exhausting. So Caleb, do you like this podcast?
Yeah.
I do too. If I were going to listen to it, where would I go to listen to it?
You could go to www.thegospeloutpost.com/nobody special.
That'll take you to the webpage. Also, if you're tuning in on YouTube, we're on iTunes and every other place that you can get podcasts.
Right.
And if you're not tuning in on YouTube, you can tune in on YouTube.
Boom.
If you could just go and like download it on all of those and just, for the stats.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Is that
I guess
begging? Is that begging?
Give us,
begging?
if you're on YouTube, we would love, for you to comment, tell us what you thought. We're not going to ask you to subscribe because that's just too lowly, but you should subscribe. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. I don't care.
I
know
do.
that hurts you.
Yeah, I get the emails, so don't do that. No. But please also tell people this is our I'm too cheap to advertise is really what it comes down to. So our show grows by word of mouth. Also, February is coming up, and our podcast also takes questions, either to be able to say hi like Classic Joni did, and let's try and not insult the sensitive boy too much. And by the sensitive boy, I mean me. But also, there's Bible questions, or just ask us questions, and we will gladly put them on the show, and try not to dox anybody in the process by giving their full name and address.
You can do that. I don't know if we already mentioned this, but at the gospel.outpost.com/nobody special, if you go to the bottom of that page, there you'll find a little section. I'm pretty sure we already said that.
Yeah, but that's okay.
But if you're on YouTube, just go to the comment section, and I'm sure we'll see it. We will.
I'll actually look. Sorry again to Matthew from July of 2018. We're so sorry, Matthew. We're so sorry. So anyway, that's going to do it for us today. I'm Danny.
And I'm Caleb.
And we are Nobody Special.